I'm going to ask everyone to please take their seats. Unless you are a faculty member or a graduate who has tested, all of us who aren't wearing masks are people that have tested prior to this event. We are telling you, not just even asking you, we need you to have a mask on in order to stay. If you do not have a mask, we have some in the back. We have some outside the doors. But please, you must wear a mask in order to be at this graduation. We'll give everybody a second to take their seats. Are we ready?
Stop. With your feet on the air, your head on the ground. Try this trick and spin it. Yeah. Your head will collapse if there's nothing in it, and you'll ask yourself, where is mine? Where is mine? Where is mine?
Good afternoon. It is my privilege and honor to welcome you to our graduation ceremony, recognizing the wonderful accomplishments of this distinguished senior class. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you to take a moment and be sure your cell phone is turned off. This makes me so nervous that my phone is going to ring during this. I have tried to turn it off, but... And now, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, our faculty and staff, thank you for joining us in our celebration of the journey of the class of 2022. These students are completing their high school experience, and for some of them, more than 15 years of Waldorf education. It is indeed an exciting moment in the lives of these young people and of our high school. I will now invite to the stage Alma, Ariel, Sage, and Luca to perform the first of our student songs this afternoon.
Now we'll all be gone.
All our friends will move away, and they're going to better places. But our friends will be gone away. As it has been, and I miss your face like hell. And I guess it's just
Rivers and roads, rivers and roads, rivers till I reach you. Rivers and roads, rivers and roads, rivers till I reach you.
And for these events, we choose a class sponsor to speak on our behalf. So this year we have chosen our class sponsor, Ms. Stevens, and my advisor. So please welcome to the stage, Ms. Stevens.
Wasn't that beautiful? Let's just give them one more round of applause. Do y'all know the words to that song? It's called Rivers and Roads by the Head and the Heart. And the first verse goes, "A year from now we'll all be gone. All our friends will move away. And they're going to better places, but our friends will be gone away." This song selection carries a profound message from this class. They are telling us as clearly as they can that today is not just about each of these amazing individuals crossing the threshold into adulthood, but also about something else that is special and rare in the modern world. They are a true community. They have each other's backs completely. For them, the needs of the group outweigh their own individual needs. This group of phenomenal people is so much greater than the sum of its parts because they are such a loving, cohesive group. These 23 students, who are each so worth knowing in their own individual right, are part of something magical. And in the last few weeks, they have come to value it so highly that now it is painful to let go. Today is a celebration, a huge celebration of one chapter ending and another beginning in the huge journey ahead, but it is also a day of loss. For as the song says, after today, nothing is as it has been. And so we need to take some time to acknowledge that. So seniors, I told you this on our last night on the river. I believe that love and loss are two sides of the same coin. You don't experience a feeling of loss unless you love someone. And the bigger that love grows, the bigger the coin grows, the more you know it's going to hurt when you lose that love. Your love is so big, it's incredible. As someone who has been following you around for 4 years, for some of you like 7 or 8 years, I am an expert on your group dynamics. And I'm no spring chicken, so believe me when I tell you that I have never seen anything like this before. What you guys have is really, really special. You just completed a play about love. It was about romantic love, which is a beautiful kind of love that I hope you will all have plenty of experience with in your lives. But the love I'm talking about is actually a lot more than that. So there are many types of love. The Western tradition that flows out of Greek wisdom names them all. Almost Maine by John Cariani was all about eros. Hold on. Which eros is romantic or passionate love. And while this class has some eros rippling through the group, the love that they share is actually best described as philia. So from a book called Socrates in Love by Christopher Phillips, philia is the type of loving sentiment that should undergird social relationships, even if the people involved do not know one another directly, but their lives intersect in some way because of common ends or some shared pursuit. In particular, philia was what principally comprised the tide that bound people together within a village, a nation, organization, movement, or in this case, class. However, philia begins with the affectionate bonds between friends. This group of students perfectly embodies philia. Looking back over the history of this class, we can see that it all began with strong, affectionate bonds between friends. 3 robust streams of students from regional Waldorf schools merged to form one mighty river, this class. The strength of their connections and the fact that many of them had met at regional events in 4th through 8th grade gave them the advantage of many warm, well-formed bonds at the beginning of high school. Other students joined at the beginning or along the way, and they flowed into one group. As with a river, the water all mixes, whether it came from the source or a tributary. The river unites each drop into something powerful and beautiful. Of course, as we learned, the river isn't always peaceful and perfect. Sometimes there are rocks or rapids, and there can be storms or horizontal wind-driven rain. But there are many sunny days and fabulous swimming holes, and even the rapids can be a lot of fun. So when this class formed, all the teachers found them deeply compelling. As individuals, they were, and are, scholars, athletes, musicians, actors, artists, comedians, iconoclasts, and counselors. They were kind, striving, engaged, energetic, playful, complex, and very interesting. But as a whole, they were something even more than that. They were, and are, a group that works harmoniously, that supports each other and can collaborate with great success, that listens well, that asks and pushes to learn and understand more, and that demonstrates gratitude toward their teachers and each other on a regular basis. So if you've ever spent time working with teenagers, you will know how rare this constellation of qualities is, and that is why all of your teachers fell in love with you as you fell in love with each other. Then, of course, COVID hit. Maybe you've heard of it. But in some ways, this class was incredibly lucky. They were able to perform their 10th grade class play in person the week before school closed. Y'all remember that play? Metamorphoses by Mary Zimmerman. It was beautiful. It was also a play about love. It's a theme here. And it brought this class together in all the ways that we hope a 10th grade play will, right before we went remote. So seniors, I will now reveal to you one of the core practices of Waldorf High School pedagogy. We, your teachers, know that 10th grade is a difficult year. Social dynamics intensify, groups splinter, and each individual begins to question their place in the whole group. It's a painful time that every individual must weather, and it can feel quite lonely. But of course, all 10th graders are generally going through the same thing at the same time. Your wise teachers know that doing a play together is the exact balm that is needed to balance out the loneliness and the pain of 10th grade. We were watching you, and your group was struggling in all of the ways we expect a sophomore class to struggle. And then you did your play. And wow, did it work its magic. You fell in love with each other again. I still remember that final scene. Oh my gosh, y'all remember this? Where Ryan and Rowan were transformed into trees because the gods had visited them in disguise, and they'd asked for a favor, and they asked to die together in their old age so they would never have to be apart. And so the two actors are standing there, and their arms are going up, and they're becoming entwined, becoming trees for eternity. And then this chorus of students whispers some of the most profound wisdom I had ever heard. This is what they said. Let me not outlive my own capacity to love. Let me die still loving, and so never die. So I was weeping every time I heard y'all say that. And these were such powerful and hopeful words to carry in your hearts as we headed into this quarantine time, right? This was a time that was really fearful for a lot of people, and you had this wisdom with you. And I saw it in your performance, and I've seen it in the way you've treated each other ever since. You really carry this love in your hearts. And so, here we are on Zoom, and you ask a lot of people about the time when we were all quarantined, and it's kind of a blur for a lot of folks. It was this liminal time transition where one thing had ended, nothing else had started, and a lot of people just don't recall. But I tell y'all, I recall all of it because of you and how you showed up. So we had weekly class meetings, and these students shared their experiences and reflections in an honest and vulnerable way that made their community stronger, even though they were just tiny little rectangles on a screen. And then at our weekly school assemblies, these were the students who showed up and participated with their cameras on. They were strong. They were strong in the face of this unprecedented challenge. And they were kind and compassionate to anyone who was struggling. They were, and they made the most of it. They came out of it stronger and wiser. And so it was during our time on Zoom when I started to realize that the love that these students share isn't even just philia. It is a higher and more rare kind of love altogether, the love of humanity. So again, from Christopher Phillips, he talks about how in Hellenic Greece, agape was considered the highest form of love. Self-sacrificial and unconditional love that springs from an overflowing within. Acting out of agape in all instances demonstrates one's love of humanity, and one's every gesture is an indication of seeing all humans as equal and equally deserving. So I was teaching these students in the spring of 2020, a morning lesson on Zoom. We were studying math, because that's what I teach. But the events of the time were so powerful that we actually set aside half of our curriculum every morning just to talk about what was going on in the world. You'll remember the spring of 2020, I'm sure. So every day the students participated in really respectful and heartfelt conversations, and then they continued that conversation by posting comments in Google Classroom, and I recently went through and reread a lot of those. And so when they were asked what they most wanted from these morning talks, overall what they wanted to do was talk about how to be supportive, how to help. When asked about what changes they hoped to see in the world, what they cared about so deeply that they would keep their foot on the gas and strive to make that change, the things they listed included racism, poverty, immigration, climate change, mental health, LGBTQIA+ discrimination, homelessness, and compassion as a way of life. Given the open forum to talk about the world, the outpouring and care that these students showed was tremendously inspiring. Their love for the world and all of its beings, their agape, paired with their striving nature, led to a commitment to working towards making the world a better place. Out of this, these students formed clubs that would address these issues that they care about so deeply. The DEI club saw record attendance, the environmental club was created, QCO and ASU formed, sexual assault prevention training was established. These students have been at the center of all student-led assemblies in the last 2 years, and they have shared their passion and commitment with our entire community. Their commitment to making the school, the world, and our school a better place did not just include serious issues, though. It also included joy. This year, these seniors have used all of their organizational and leadership skills to spread so much joy. They have led teams to state championships and second in nationals in Frisbee. They formed a drama club and entertained us all with horrific tales. They reinvented Spirit Club and turned it into a force of nature, and threw this prom that was the most joyful thing I have ever seen. And they have just generally created a culture of enjoyment of the other. Right? They've reached out to younger classes, they treat each other with respect. They always are laughing and having fun at like big tables outside. So the philia and the agape forms of love overflow with these seniors. It's in the way they celebrate the other person in the room, both in their similarities and differences. It's in the way they care about the world and are working to change it for the better. It's in the way they play and laugh and hug and wrestle even. It's in the way they cry and comfort each other, and then someone tells a joke to lighten the mood. To quote Christopher Phillips once more, agape is the ultimate welcoming into the fold, but in a way in which the fold itself expands. With agape, there is no expectation of reciprocal demonstrations from those on whom it is showered. Rather, one imbued with agape gives freely, loves with no strings attached, with no thought of reward. In doing so, even though this is not the expectation, one often receives more in return. Seniors, this is the part where I'm probably going to cry. Your love for each other is so beautiful and so big. And back at the beginning of the speech, I talked about the way that the loss of such love is painful. And while I can't deny that you will feel some pain, it is inevitable, I can already offer you the balm. You see, your love for each other isn't over. It has simply grown big enough now that you are ready to graduate, that it has so much space to offer that you must move on. You must add others. You must take this big, beautiful, rare, and special love that you have spun up together, and you must share it with the world, for it is the only thing that our world needs. There's room in your communal heart to do this. Really, seniors, you are like the opposite of Glory in Almost Maine. Your heart has not been broken into 19 slate pieces. Instead, your 23 whole, beating, blazing, compassionate hearts have joined to make one brilliant and shining mega heart that will hold you all as you head out into this world. You will be carried by the love that you shared, and you can always come back to each other, back to the source. But you are ready now to take this big love out into the world, to make the world better, and to fill it with joy. So, my dear seniors, it has been the privilege of my life to be your sponsor. And I send you off with all the love in my heart, and with the hope that you will never forget what it is to be loved so honestly and fully by a community such as yours. And now I will invite to the stage Declan Miller and Luna Schindler-Payne, who were selected by their classmates as this year's student speakers.
When I think about these past 4 years, memories of sunsets and studying flood my mind. As I sort through the joyful and challenging memories, 2 words continue to pop up: gratitude and change. These words mark the truest feelings I have in regard to these past 4 years. Before I elaborate on these 2 themes, I want to take a second to acknowledge why we are here. We're here to celebrate the learning and growth which occurred in high school, a ritual to send us off into the world confident in ourselves and in the goodness of the world, a uniquely Waldorf sentiment. For me, this journey of Waldorf education began all the way back in kindergarten, as it did for a few of my fellow seniors. Special nod to everyone who made it since elementary school. Thanks for sticking it out with me and giving me a family at school. I also want to give a shout out, though, to the people who joined in middle school and especially high school. Thank you for bringing your fresh perspectives and sharing your personalities and gifts with the class. But now, let's consider gratitude and change. As individuals, as a community, and as a world, there has certainly been a lot of change during these past 4 years. Don't believe me? Think back to your freshman class picture and compare it with what you look like now. On a more serious note, we seniors have become confident in our unique forms of expression, from creative endeavors to sport, from debate to style. We changed from shy 9th graders to confident seniors, from scattered teens throwing pine cones at each other to confident and thoughtful young adults discussing the issues of our time and the health of our community. Importantly, this change has happened without losing the joys of childhood, like karaoke in Mr. Sutherland's contemporary literature class this year. Additionally, through all this change is another constant, the support we have offered each other. We carried extra weight on the 9th grade backpacking trip, proofread college essays, and more recently, helped each other learn our lines for our senior play. Our class has also worked through challenging social issues as well as various mental health challenges. Through experiencing vulnerability together, we have come to understand the importance of meaningful relationships. As the many layers of change happen all around us, I think it is important to stick to core values, and I think our class has held on to certain things like support and joy in a way which I am very proud of. In my opinion, some of the best change there is learning. And high school, after all, offers lots of opportunities for growth. There is the academic learning, which has been made possible by the supportive and caring community that is Seattle Waldorf. Our class understands that when we feel cared for and supported by those around us, our learning improves. But we also changed and grew as humans, coming to understand how to be a more kind and compassionate person in this world. We learned how to navigate differences and how to better respect others. These changes in ourselves are lasting and will influence future areas of studies, as well as the relationships we have with those around us. Individuals not only changed, but the world around us and the school itself has undergone various transitions. One of the biggest changes was the COVID pandemic. But our community responded, adapting and changing to meet this challenge. Instead of checking out, students and teachers were especially intentional about reaching out, offering office hours, adjusting the schedule, or starting various new clubs like Workout Club, a personal favorite of mine. Our class also continued to try to have fun with each other, even while being virtual, whether it was jokes in the Zoom chat or the classic, "Are you recording for Leo?" As I mentioned before, the other word I think of when thinking about high school is gratitude. I feel privileged to have seen the growth and maturation of my classmates over these past 4 years. As a class, we are grateful for the various opportunities we have had throughout high school. One opportunity stands out: the outdoor trips. Most of our class agrees they are the best trips of the year. The best weeks of the year, excuse me. Some of our fondest memories are from the trips. Our first campfire circle back in 9th grade, the bus breaking down in 10th grade, nearly getting stuck on an island on the coast in 11th grade, or seeing the orcas in 12th grade. These memories, and more importantly, the feeling of joy associated with it, will linger within and will forever be a place we can tap into for smiles and peace. I am also grateful for the unique high school experience we all had, whether it is the small things like Michaelmas, or the big things like going to school in Seattle's best park. Additionally, our teachers have gotten to know our class and challenge us in ways that simply isn't possible at a bigger school. Our passionate and hardworking teachers were crucial in guiding our high school experience, from Miss Ailing introducing us to the world of quantum mechanics, to Dr. Hippolito describing the intricacies of Shakespeare. So, in this world of constant change and learning, what is something we can hold on to? Well, I believe this is where gratitude and change can come together. We can be grateful for change and see it as an opportunity to grow and make a difference. I remember a line from a song titled Graduation by Nemo Patel. It goes, "For gratitude and suffering cannot coexist." I encourage you all to remember this sentiment as you take on the next chapter in your lives, as you face both predictable and unpredictable change.
Thank you, Declan. I, too, am immensely grateful for the beautiful and unique education that has helped guide us into the people that we are today. but for how unique our education has been. The people in our class are as original and creative as our education itself. We have grown up surrounded by the interests and passions of our classmates. From environmentalism to music to frisbee to theater to about anything else you could imagine. We have learned to share our passions and to listen to others in return, have grown thanks to each other more than we ever could in some other less personal school system. It's funny how different we can be and yet still belong to each other so fully. We have collectively shown up late to class, have forgotten homework assignments, have made each other laugh at inopportune moments, have studied together, have brought spirit to the school and dominated in frisbee, have been accepted to prestigious, interesting, and wonderful colleges, received generous scholarships, and planned amazing gap year experiences. Despite the differences between us, we still somehow fit together to make our own special constellation. A scattering of stars that would be incomplete if not for all 23 pinpoints of light in the backdrop of our universe. Over the last 4 years, 5 days a week, 7 hours a day, we have grown up in this light of each other, sharing energy, bouncing off the walls, or sitting quietly, listening to each other be vulnerable. We have been there for each other, sometimes only from a distance, shining warmth in the dark moments by a smile in the hallway or saying hi on Zoom. Through the changes and challenges, though we were imperfect friends and classmates and couldn't always show up fully, we cared for each other and still do. And so, as we stand here today, it's hard to say goodbye. Hard to embrace a change when the present is so sweet. I'm standing here now, reminded of all the good times and wishing we didn't have to part ways, but deep down we know that it's time to go. Time to head into the wind and search for meaning outside of high school. Time to turn into the darkness of the unknown. But we will not truly be flying alone because the constellation is fixed. It is not something to be blown away in the wind or washed away in the ocean. And even if the clouds obscure the stars on particularly rainy days, beyond those same clouds, we're still up there shining for each other, however distant. If you go outside on a clear night, you can see right into the universe and find us there together. We can look into that sky and remember for a moment where we came from. We have 22 other people who know us better than we want to be known half the time. We have extreme eurythmy talent, as well as the ability to knit beautiful flute cases and make really cool morning lesson books. We have teachers who have known us as more than students. We have echoes of our laughter and mischief in the hallways, and the plastic water bottles chucked into the beams of the humanities classroom. And a rock in the Deschutes River with all of our names of it, even the ones of us who couldn't make it to the trip. Into the future, our pasts will not change. We truly cannot forget our high school years because our memories are more than just moments strung together. High school has formed us and we have formed each other, so we won't just carry memories like a physical thing. They will bubble up when we hear a song on the radio or laugh at a joke or find ourselves doing eurythmy in the grocery store. That is the starlight that we have shared with each other every day. And our story will be spiraling off into the universe long after today turns into tonight. And what a story it's been. What a journey through growing up, through learning who we are and what E equals MC squared means. How to pack properly for a backpacking trip, how to make each other laugh, and how big the world is around us. How much there is still left to figure out, how much we already know. How to speak up and how to listen, how to play guitar and what a stable isotope is, and that taking care of the earth and each other matters. How to stand together and also how to stand apart. How to celebrate, how to cry together too. And now that we are looking into the setting sun and find ourselves facing something big and new and mysterious, let's take hands for a moment. Take my hand again and remember the first day we met. Our timelines braiding into one for 4 or more years, like a confluence of rivers. Walk down the passages of conversations and smiles in the hallways as we grew from strangers to classmates to friends, dancing in sunlight and starlight. And now that we are on the last steps of our journey together, take my hand for a moment and remember how far we've come. Remember with me the hard parts that tried us and the moments in which we felt that we were flying. Remember shouting from the mountaintops and singing in tunnels under the ground. Take my hand again to celebrate and mourn the fate of time, the excitement of a new horizon, and how hard it is to let go of this one. Take my hand and hold it for a moment longer before we let go and go onward in the light of our constellation.
Thank you so much to our amazing teachers for supporting us, both as students and as people, and through that, making our education meaningful, engaging, and personal.
Thank you to our administration, staff, and everybody who works selflessly behind the scenes for all of your time and effort you put into making this all possible.
And to our families, both by blood and by heart, we're so grateful for all the love and support throughout the years, for instilling values in us and showing us how to become the people we are today.
And finally, thank you to our classmates for all being your unique and authentic selves, for sharing your singular talents and interests that have grown all of us, and your wonderful selves that have made these last 4 years so special.
We would now like to welcome Nuruddin, who will be performing a song.
When it's midnight at the ball, when your white horse takes a fall, and you don't know who to call, you can call me. When there's makeup on your shirt, when your compass doesn't work, if you need me, I can cure your curiosity. When you're lost, when you're cold, when you can't see the road, when the sky runs out of gold and you need a ride home, take your time, feed your soul. If you ever find yourself alone and you need a place that feels like home, somewhere there's a light on, when heaven's kinda starless and the world's kinda heartless, when you're reaching in the darkness, somewhere there's a light on. When your faith is on its knees, no ways left to sleep, and the love that just won't leave you alone. Yeah, when you're talking in your sleep, secrets you don't want to keep, you're always safe with me, so let 'em go. When you're lost, when you're cold, when you can't see the road, when the sky runs out of gold and you need a ride home, take your time, feed your soul. If you ever find yourself alone and you need a place that feels like home, somewhere there's a light on, when heaven's kind of starless and the world's kind of heartless, when you're reaching in the darkness, somewhere there's a light on. Oh, somewhere there's a light on. Oh, 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 yeah, somewhere there's a light on. I need to lead you right home when the sun burns out and the signs are wrong. Somewhere there's a light on. When you're lost, when you're cold, when you can't see the road, when the sky runs out of gold and you need a ride home, take your time, feed your soul. If you ever find yourself alone and you need a place that feels like home, somewhere there's a light on. When heaven's kind of starless and the world's kind of heartless, when you're reaching in the darkness, somewhere there's a light on.
But my script is gone. So I am just going to wing it. Without my mask on. It is now time. Thank you, Nuruddin. That was beautiful. It is now time for the advisor recognitions, and we will begin with Clara Lippert.
Okay, Abby. The mother bear walks confidently through the dappled spring forest. She has emerged from the long winter and knows that she is stronger and wiser for it. Ready to take the next steps, prepared to meet life's challenges and adventures around the next turn. Looking back, she recognizes with a deep knowing and satisfaction all that she has worked for and earned. Big-hearted and generous, she is a respite to other life travelers, freely sharing the comfort and wisdom that she has gained along the way. Abby, warm, inclusive, compassionate, courageous, no nonsense, artistic, poet, singer, mathematician, natural leader. Celebrate your accomplishments. Continue to trust and build your strengths. Listen to your heart and create the world for yourself and others that you have the courage to dream.
Luna. The reporter listens with rapt attentiveness to the interviewee. Her mind moves a mile a minute, yet she is present, engaged, warm, and inviting, already thinking of her next question, how the ideas connect, how to draw them into her next piece, but more importantly, why it all matters, what this whole thing called life is all about in the first place. Luna, powerful, driven, intelligent, witty, lover of ideas and of fun, voracious student of the world and life. The future ahead of you is rich with possibilities. Find the moments to rest and replenish along your journey of accomplishment and discovery.
Luca. Apologies in advance for many waterworks. Luca. A Mobius strip is a looped, flat surface that, due to a twist, is actually a single continuous plane. How can the top be the same as the bottom? How is it that even a preschooler can construct this topological oddity with simple paper and tape? Now, I am sure that you are bursting to explain to me exactly what makes a Mobius strip what it is, or the implications of its existence on modern philosophical thought. Because that is what makes Luca Luca, an endless loop of curiosity, question, concept, actualization, and then curiosity again, and so on. It is the whimsy of a toddler plus the soulful depth of a grandfather. Zest for life, love of learning, humble, earnest, exceedingly goofy. The ocean of the world's knowledge is infinitely wide and deep. In your race to explore it all, don't forget to indulge a few loop-de-loops along the way. Maddie. Remember the first time you experienced strong magnets? It seemed impossible the way one side could repel while the other could attract so strongly. Yet it also It's not. Oh, it's on. Okay. Let me start out. Remember the first time you experienced strong magnets? All right. Yet it also felt 100% natural. And then later, learn that this force within the Earth itself is strong enough to beat a lost sailor safe harbor, while also being basically imperceptible in our daily lives. What a strange yet undeniable truth of the strongest, most powerful forces of nature are also the most beautiful. Loving yet stern teachers, stubborn, brave, commitment to beauty, organizational genius, secret comedian. You have known yourself, lost yourself, and found yourself dead. The cycle will repeat more times than you forget. Trust your inner compass. Declan. The saying goes, he wears his heart on his sleeve. But a single sleeve isn't nearly enough space to hold your incredibly, vividly, proudly visible heart. In a world experienced through filters and Photoshop, your complete inability to hide yourself, which may seem like a liability at times, is actually your greatest strength. What an absolute gift to see with absolute clarity your relentless drive for excellence, all of your many, many feelings, and most of all, your desire to improve both yourself and your community. Earnest student, voracious reader, focused athlete, community architect, volcanic, yet utterly disciplined. You are more than ready to tackle some big, ambitious, impractical dreams. Set goals that scare you. Step into the unknown. I'll now welcome up Laura McEachern and Eric Schwicker.
Working again? All right. Sorry, we're just conferring here. This is a unique situation. Chi, Lu. I apologize, we don't have a wrap for you. Chi, Lu. Within these two names is a great juxtaposition. Chi, a branch, a gesture of peace and connection. Lu, a battle axe, something made to conquer. You gracefully carry these tensions of these two qualities within all that you do. Your mind is quick and your tongue sharp like a spear. You speak truth to power and never shy away from facing challenges that come your way. All the while, your warm heart and magnetic smile connects you to the world and those around you. Your father said, you will become a lawyer, the very first time I met him. Whether you will remains to be seen. But the quality of fighting the good fight while caring for those near and far is something you already do. As your path carries you forward, walk upright like the warrior you already are. Practice having a soft gaze of wonder, and let the fire in your heart burn bright.
So a little context is Flora was Chi and Leo's advisor for their first 2 years. I was Gio and Leo's advisor for their last 2. And we're making this stand here.
And for context, they're also international students who've lived for 4 years away from their families here in Seattle.
All right, Chief. At the conclusion of Walden, Thoreau writes, "Only that day dawns to which we are awake. There is more day to dawn. The sun is but a morning star." Chilu, you are singular. Truly, there is no one like you. You burst into the proverbial room with unabashed joy and enthusiasm. Conversations with you are a visceral experience, emotionally charged, complete narratives, and amongst a whirlwind of language and plot twists, they are chock full of curiosity and intelligence. Your embrace of the world is both wide and tight. You seek to find relationships in everything. Each day, you respond to your environment as if you had been blind and just been given the sense of sight. Your world is new, mysterious, and demanding to be explored. Continue to welcome challenges and adversity, and not merely as things to overcome, but as opportunities to learn, to change stereotypes and perspectives, both of others and those of your own.
Hafeng. Hafeng Zhang, Leo, as we call him. King of the jungle, the lion. You're sometimes running full force ahead, while at other times you rest peacefully, camouflaged by your surroundings, so quiet you almost go unnoticed. Maybe you are planning a great adventure, your next creation, or thinking about a meal to come. Half-heartedness is not an option for you. You are fully immersed in the moment, the learning, the experience. Other times you are distant, as if in some faraway place, dreaming with the stars. Leo, learning to be of the earth while connected to the stars will reveal to you your purpose in time. Be patient. Keep your feet firmly on the earth. And keep listening to the great wisdom of the heavens.
There's a Japanese architectural element called shoji. It is a sliding window or door composed of wood lattice work covered in a tough, translucent paper. The purpose is to allow light and the sense of the outside in while maintaining the privacy of the house and its inhabitants. Leo, I think we can both agree that shoji is a pretty apt metaphor for you. Your personality, your sensibilities, and your philosophy finding balance between the internal and external worlds. There have been times when this balance has proved difficult to achieve, when turning inward, adding another layer of paper to the lattice work seems necessary. But recently, you've been willing to slide open the shoji more, providing an opportunity for the world to better view your infinite creativity and immense capacity for empathy. I feel like I speak for all of us here today when I say we eagerly await an invitation to your house, your home.
Mr. No-No.
Is that good? Yeah. Okay, hi. All right, people, here we go. Piper, or as I like to call her, Pipes. My theme for my advisee tributes is how they have mentored me. So, here we go. When I think of what Piper has taught me this year, the phrase puzzle solving springs to mind. You can solve a puzzle by multiple means, but you must first pick up a piece and see how it works. Very often, things don't work, but the point is to find as many solutions as possible and to keep faith that though the maze is riddled with dead ends, there are surprising gaps among the trees or pleasant caves to be explored, and as long as you hold the thread in your hands, you really are making it. This was a theme for Piper as she navigated the maze-like puzzle of all things senior year. Our conversations had a jigsaw quality, as if we were saying, "Where's that corner piece? We need to finish the border." Or, "Do you think the piece we desperately need is under the table, under someone's foot?" Or even worse, maybe this box came to us with a few missing pieces, existentially speaking. Of course, the puzzle did get finished for now, and here we are. Piper, you have mentored me in the ways of walking the labyrinth, thread in hand, with courage for the forking paths. I wish you the happiness of many more puzzles worth solving. Okay, pause for a little tear blotting. All right, Seiji. Since COVID, a remarkable number of little food pantries have sprung up in Seattle because motivated people decided on their own to make nutritious food available to their neighbors in crisis. This kind of moral and motivated thinking reminds me of Sage, and much of what she taught me this year has to do with loyalty, love, and problem solving. Every social problem, every challenge we face has a scale from planet to neighborhood. Too often we get stymied by thinking only on the planet scale. What makes Sage a wonderfully effective human is that she thinks big picture, but she acts at the scale of getting things done, in the here and now, where life happens. Her spirited efforts knit our community together. Whether she is organizing an advisory sign-up sheet for weekly snacks, very important, or taking on the role of peer educator to teach our community about preventing sexual assault, Sage truly lives the notion that every problem is an opportunity for growth. Sage, I have learned so much from your goodness and your leadership. Thanks for your no muss, no fuss approach to living and thriving. And Ellie. Okay. Ellie and I bonded over the hardships of Zoom school, where the good energy of life was flattened by the screen. Times were hard, but to know Ellie Hartman is to know she is a wizard of many magics. And every time we met on Zoom, she brought a sense of wonder to my life. Once early on, I could hear what can only be described as loud bird noises coming through my computer's speakers. I asked Ellie, "Are you sitting near an open window?" She replied, "Oh no, we have birds." She later told me her family had, quote, backyard chickens, a family of pigeons, a couple of button quails, and a dove. In this time of technology overload, Ellie's felt connection to the animals sharing her home made me think of her fondly as a modern-day Dr. Dolittle, which I have called her many times. But there's more. Ellie is a serious student of mycology, the study of mushrooms, and she has a flair for the dramatic arts as seen in her leadership and performances for our drama club. It's hard to imagine someone who funnels so much creative energy into so many intellectual and artistic paths. But here is Ellie to show us how it's done. Ellie, thank you for boosting my spirits always. You have taught me that true magic is being open to the possibilities. And if that wasn't enough for you, next up is the Grandmaster of Cool, Carl Bussey.
Kind of a hard intro. All right. Gavin. Perceptive, kind, dancer. Octopus. Octopuses are super smart. Really clever. they don't stay in the box you put them in. They wear very colorful outfits. They change them all the time. Ink. I appreciate how you always have something encouraging to say and how you are always ready to play. Touch everything often. Live into your sense of wonder. Keep smiling even when it doesn't seem to make sense to do so. Tyler. Clever, artistic, stylish. Twin dolphins dancing in the waves. One is you at play, dynamic, engaged, creative. One is you playing music, totally committed and joyful. Dolphins are one of the few animals that play as adults. A highlight for me is watching you play with Luca and Nurdine in the PE storage room. All of the different ways you use the circus arts equipment, balls, ping pong tables to create challenges for each other is delightful and inspiring. Your joy is a gift. Keep finding it to give it away. Ocean. Beloved, generous, inclusive. Flying fish. Flying fish fly in two distinctly different environments. Flying fish have been around for 250,000,000 years. Maybe there is some wisdom in what you do and how you do it. Because you fly into places, you get two highlights. One is the honest and compassionate way you share your life with me and your classmates. Your warmth and genuine care for everyone in your sphere is so powerful. The other is the challenge you bring to any kind of athletic endeavor. I've loved playing with you these 4 years, and I will miss your fly. Commit. You were born to fly. Landing can be hard. The gift of flight is worth the pain. Ryan. Charismatic, enthusiastic, strong. Bull elephant. Elephants are all about family. Old bulls are the navigators. So pay attention to your journey so you can lead others. A highlight for me is watching the way you have progressed as a basketball player. You're a confident and unstoppable big man underneath. The only way I can stop you anymore is to break something. Be strong and patient. Your dreams cannot escape the pull of your gravity. Good. I have something for Hans. You guys want to hear it? No? Okay. Intense, fiercely individual, deep thinker. Sunfish. know what a sunfish is? Big, giant, with little paddles for arms. Just goes wherever it wants. Large, imperturbable creature that goes their own way. Only a very few things in the sea can get them to do what they don't want to do. And they're related to porcupine fish. So my comment for him is, thank you for coming here. Thank you for staying. Thank you for not giving up who you are to stay. This is over. What is coming won't look anything like this. Enjoy.
Miss Ailing could not be here, so on her behalf, I would like to invite Harsha. Harsha. Like a helium-filled balloon, Harsha rises above the scene with his sharp mind and avid curiosity. His humor is buoyant as well, bright and light, lifting people up with him. Compassion, thoughtfulness, kindness, a beacon of optimism. Harsha, as you head into the world of engineering, remember to keep your heart connected to your head and hands, that the good work you do will help the earth and all her beings. And now all 7 of my advisees are next, so here we go. Nerdine. Nerdine. There is a river that flows through a canyon. It was once a stream, and the canyon was once smooth rock. The river grew, and it flowed over the rock patiently, relentlessly, until the rock began to transform. Layers of rock were washed away, carving the walls of the canyon and revealing a history in stone. New understanding is gained from that which has been revealed by the water, and more still will be exposed as the river flows on. Striving, respectful, big-hearted with big emotions. Nerdine, be patient as you continue to reveal more and more of yourself year after year. Sierra. Sierra, there is a path through the woods that invites one onward. Even though there are some brambles and blackberry bushes that obscure the path, many choose to take the journey. They may endure scratches on the way, but they enjoy the ripe, sweet berries as they go. The path opens up into an enchanting meadow filled with sun-warmed grasses, wildflowers, and a babbling stream. Those who come to the meadow choose to return often or stay. Strong, relentless, loving, and sunnier than you let on, open new pathways to your beautiful heart and let everyone in. Aton. Sitting by a lake on a foggy morning, the world is still. Dragonflies dart through the reeds and the occasional fish jumps. It is lovely, but muted. And then the fog lifts as the sun warms the sky, and suddenly what is seen is a glorious mountain capped with glaciers, and the alpen glow of the morning light shines from the pristine snowfields. The light changes everything. Thoughtful, empathetic, earnest in with clear vision, let your light shine brightly, and remember that the mountain is always there, even when the fog is frozen. Orlando. The osprey sits aloft in his high nest, surveying the river valley below. He is confident in his strength and agility, but waits to see a sign that the moment is right to hunt. The sun sets behind him, and a splash in the river catches his keen eye. The osprey dives sharply, breaks the surface of the water, and catches his prey effortlessly. Observant, considerate, capable, always looking at the big picture. Choose your target. Don't hesitate and dive. Maine. To grow a rose bush, one must first have well-cultivated soil so the roots may be healthy and nourished. Unwanted branches must be pruned to help the plant grow to its full potential. Water and fertilize often, and do mind the thorns. Always stop to smell the roses and appreciate how beautiful they are, and remember how much care goes into allowing each glorious blossom to open. Courageous, loving, thoughtful, perceptive. Take care of your roots, prune your branches, and never stop blooming. Ariel. The caterpillar once spun a web of silk around itself and waited. When the time was right, the being within emerged from its shell and sat on a leaf, warming and stretching her wings. Now ready, the chrysalis lays cracked on the grass as the butterfly flies off into the cool morning air. Her wings are powerful, and she herself is a mosaic of color and light who inspires joy in all who encounter her. Authentic, spontaneous, loving, dedicated, and hardworking. Remember that you created this transformation for yourself, and that the power to do so is yours forever. Here comes Alma. The lioness spends her morning contentedly basking in the sun. She is surrounded by her pride, and she relaxes, trusting in the strength and cohesion of the group. She grooms herself and the others, plays with the cubs, and then settles in for a luxurious nap. As the sun sets, she wakes, stretches gracefully, pads off into the brush with all of her senses alerted, and begins to hunt. She is bold, fast, and fierce as she runs through the night, certain of her own power and knowing that her pride is with her. Heart-centered, aware, playful, wise, and mighty. Surround yourself well so that you may share your strength and your big-hearted power. Now I would like to welcome back Ms. Sharp Anderson. I think everything
This is the nerve-wracking part, so let me get the script to the exact right spot. Because this is the diploma part where I have to say everyone's names properly, which is why I didn't want my script to disappear. So I'm going to call up Eva Elliott, the board chair, to come join me on the podium. We will now present the diplomas to the class. Students, please come forward as I call your name. Okay, here we go. Abigail Evelyn Marjorie Glowney. You stand right there for a picture. Luna Jade Schindler Payne. This is how far we've come. Last year we had to elbow bump. This year we're handshaking. Luca Delisle Burgess. Congratulations. Madeline Galingo. Declan Miller. Congratulations. Pause for the photo. Okay. It's okay. You still get to graduate. Everybody make sure you pause for the photo. Lu Mai Chi. Hu Fong Zhang, Leo. Piper Enderline. Sage Latere Hagopian. I do it? Beautiful. Elliot Ann Hartman. Congratulations. Gavin Coda. All right. Ryan Sean Beers. Make sure you pause. Tyler B. Culp. Is Carl still here? Not this Carl, Carl Riebling? Hans Riebling, would you like to come get Hans's diploma? Hans Riebling. We'll leave it up here. Okay. Harsha Venkatesh. Nuruddin Abdullah bin Shahzad Bahati. Sierra Gaynor. Eitan Grass. Congratulations. Orlando Impas. Congratulations. It's getting feisty. Maeve Wu Chen Hua Kammerling. Ariel Grace McGuire. Alma Angelica Linares Wigzel. Before we conclude, I want to thank you all for being with us to celebrate these outstanding young people. I also want to thank all of the parents for the years of commitment to Seattle Waldorf School and to this education. It truly is a gift. We invite you afterwards to join us at the high school campus for a reception where we will have a display of our seniors' work and light refreshments, and we look forward to seeing you there. Now, I would like to ask the seniors to stand. I am proud to present to you the Seattle Waldorf School Class of 2022. You may move your tassel. Congratulations.